The Type VII U-boat is unarguably the most important submarine of the Second World War. It challenges the most powerful, not one, but the most powerful two navies in the world. And it succeeds in sinking millions of tons of their merchant ships and dozens of their warships.
The Type VII was the workhorse of Germany's Second World War submarine fleet. Over 700 were constructed, making it the largest class of subs ever built.
The Type VII boasted a number of improvements: slightly greater depth, excellent hydrophones, dependable weaponry, and then a very, very, very fast dive rate. A well-handled Type VII could disappear from the surface of the sea within 20 seconds.
Its fast dive, small profile, and nimble handling gave the Type VII the one quality that all submarines strive for: stealth. On October 14, 1939, Gunter Prien risked shallow water, tricky currents, and detection by defenders to penetrate the Royal Navy's base at Scapa Flow. With 3 torpedoes, he sank the British battleship the Royal Oak and then escaped unharmed.
Well, it even drew words of admiration from Winston Churchill, who said it was a most astonishing feat. And in a sense, that kicked off the U-boat war in a truly memorable fashion.
Admiral Karl Dönitz was convinced his U-boats could destroy the Allies, and he set about proving it. By communicating with his boats, he was able to assemble wolf packs, groups of up to 20 U-boats, which would ambush merchant convoys. It worked. U-boats were destroying Allied shipping. Their captains became heroes of the fatherland. Eric Topp was one of these elite men. His boat, the U-552, was nicknamed the Red Devil. In March and April of 1942, he sank 8 ships for a total of 45,731 tons. A feat that brought recognition from the Fuhrer himself.
He made his crew feel invincible, and they would have followed him to the gates of hell and back. And in many cases, they did.
The top 5 most successful Type VIIs sank 221 ships between them. Over 1 million tons of metal vanished beneath the waves, robbing the Allies of men, material, and perhaps most importantly, the hope that Europe could be saved.
Churchill says the only thing that keeps him awake at night is the concern about the U-boats cutting Great Britain off from the rest of the empire and indeed from the United States. And Churchill is right.
But then in 1943, the tide turned for Hitler's U-boats. At the Casablanca Conference, Allied leaders resolved to end the submarine menace. Protective convoys were stepped up across the Atlantic. The British had also cracked the German Enigma machine, allowing them to decipher the orders being sent to the U-boat fleet. Once the U-boats were the hunters, now they were the hunted.
With the exception of the Japanese kamikaze arm, the submarine forces suffer the highest loss rates during the Second World War. In the case of the U-boat force, those losses are cataclysmic.
The crews gave the U-boats a new nickname: Iron Coffins. But despite their losses, the Type VII U-boat remains one of the most influential weapons of the Second World War. In 5 years of intense combat, the U-boat sank 2,779 ships for a total of 14.1 million tons.
The Type VII class sinks more enemy merchant shipping than any other type of submarine in the conflict, suffers the highest losses of any submarine in the conflict, but causes the greatest fear and the most anxiety to the largest number of nations on Earth at the time it is deployed.